or you can take it as a protocol or an agreement between journalistic bodies or a consensus that journalists and their media should not lend support to conflicts or wars. And why? Because they lead to human tragedies and destruction. And that is true. That's what conflicts and wars lead to. Now I give you also the latest examples how media organizations themselves are not spared by these conflicts and wars. During the NSAS protests in Lagos and other parts of the country, you can remember that there are some media organizations that were also attacked. So the media is not insulated in circumstances of conflicts as well as wars. That is why. So even for the purpose of self-preservation, probably we need to be aware that there is a need for us to, play a special role. Let me remind myself of the saying of one of my great editors and editors-in-chief, Mr. Lewis Obi, who told me one day, in the discussion of this, he simply theorized that the media is supposed to mediate in situations of conflict. And I think, as a noble profession, this is a very, very good theory. The media should mediate in positions of conflict. Now, having reminded ourselves of this framework in 1983, which is likely being observed in the breach, or is not even in our own statutes, maybe in this part of the world, let me also bring to light in the room the one that was framed by states. So that one is a law. That one is not a peer, it's not as a result of a peer review mechanism by journalists who wanted to regulate themselves or to put standards and values and say, look, we should, this is what we are going to do, this is not good for our profession, this is our social responsibility towards society and so on. No, that one is not. But this one has to do with the wrong statutes that emerged in the 1990s. The Rome Statutes, as you all know, is what has established the International Criminal Court in The Hague. The Rome Statutes, you can all remember, punishes three offenses. One is incitement to genocide. The other one is the act of genocide itself. And the third one is state aggression. The first one, incitement to genocide, is probably targeted at the media actors, and politicians, our friends and customers, politicians. Because of this, so many Rwandan journalists, Ugandan journalists, and quite a number from the Democratic Republic of Congo are serving various jail terms in The Hague. Incitement to genocide means if you use the media to incite conflict in a manner that will be interpreted to mean genocide, that is, many people will be killed because of what you have said, either as a commentator or as a purveyor of information, and you are dragged to the International Criminal Court at The Hague, and they interpret what you have done through radio broadcasts or commentaries in newspapers or the careless postings of your own opinion on digital digital media because you are a popular blogger in your country, or you are this, or you think you hold strong opinions and so on, hey, you are gone. You are gone. Now, of course, the second one is the act of genocide itself. Now, you also have to remember this is a major departure. In the past, according to LOC, that's law of armed conflict. According to international humanitarian law, which is otherwise the law of armed conflict, if a commander in the conduct of war asks his juniors, go and destroy this, go and kill prisoners of war who have already surrendered, go and shoot, use this bomb to kill 2 people, use this and all this kind of illegalities, the commander will be responsible. But now the new law of armed conflict says, no. If a commander asks you to perform an illegality in the conduct of war, you should use your sense. You should say, use your sense. For instance, if a commander asks you to use a missile to attack this building, a missile to destroy this building because it is a target, you should know that it is contrary to what is called proportionate force, use of proportionate force. I'm sorry I'm bearing into it, but of course, you know, as journalists, we all have to be armed, with all this knowledge and exactly, because we comment and write about these things. So, if you use disproportionate force, it means you are guilty because you have not used your sense. You cannot be a zombie any longer to say, oh, the commander asked me to do this. So that is why the act of genocide, simply because the commander said, go and attack these people because they are ants. Do remember always that these things are more prevalent in Africa because Africa is a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious society by its composition. So because of this, triggers of conflicts are much more